Good morning, gardening friends. Today I wanted to talk to you about some unusual fruits and flowers in my backyard. And I'm going to start with my okra harvest this year. I had a whole spiel prepared on okra, but unfortunately, this was the only pod that grew for me. Okra is technically a fruit, and its name in Africa, West Africa actually, I think it's Central Bantu, is Gumbo. It's King, K-I-N-G-O-M-B-O, and I'll separate the K-I from the rest of that, Gumbo. And so that's the name for okra in that dialect. And so that's where gumbo came from, was from that name. So in any event, that's okra. I showed you this yesterday. I'm putting the okra down here. This is a datura fruit, and that's the reason why one of the common names for daturas is thornapple, because the fruit resembles a thorny apple. And apparently the seeds are viable, quite viable, because you can see the little seedlings down there where some fruits have opened up earlier this year. One thing I've been meaning to talk about, but keep forgetting, I will cover today. It's an unusual thing, and that is the fruit of the camellia. This is last year's fruit in my camellia. Usually camellias are so hybridized that they don't have fruit, but this variety does have it. This is the fruit from, I'll see if I can pick one. It's hard for me to pick and talk and film at the same time. This fruit was produced 2 years ago, so it takes 2 years to ripen on the bush. And this one just has the one seed inside. So if you plant that seed, you'll get something resembling this bush, but more than likely, I don't remember the names of these four camellias. The four camellias in the corners of this little courtyard area are all identical, and I've long since forgotten the names of them. But you'll be seeing them bloom pretty soon. So, camellia fruit. Of course, I had shown you this. It's not ripe yet, but this is the fruit of the Nolan Rapunz. Supposedly it's going to turn purple, is what I've read. However, it looks like it's turning orange, so we'll discover that together. And finally, the last thing, I used to talk about toad lilies here in the corner all spring long. If you go back to some of those earlier spring videos, you'll hear me talking about toad lilies, it's actually Japanese toad lily. You'd have to get them off the internet. Nobody carries them. I got these from a friend, and this is a close-up of the flower. It's got an orchid-like flower. I think it has a very faint scent, if any. It is a sloppy plant. It got burned in the heat, probably from a little lack of moisture, but I have to have it in this metal cage. It's the second year that it's blossomed in this particular spot. It seems to like it because the bush itself is multiplying, but as you can see under that camellia, it's very shady and dry. I think it can stand the shade, but the dryness is getting to it, so I may take a piece of it and try keeping it in a pot. Although I tried that once before in a small pot, unsuccessfully, because that's where this plant started out life when I got it as a cutting from a friend. And it was nice and green, but it didn't really do anything while it was in the pot. It needed the expanse of the ground, so maybe put in a big pot, it might do okay. But the key is, keep it moist. So there you have Japanese toad lily. If you're interested in the Latin name, Google Japanese toad lily and you'll find it out. I like toad lily better. And that concludes my talk about unusual fruits for the day. Of course, these are the usual fruits. These are my satsumas. This is from the other side of the tree, the western side of the satsuma tree. Not quite as orange yet on the side, but they will turn orange shortly. And they'll be edible probably in another month or so. So there you have it. Some unusual fruits and flowers. Have a good day.